Today we're going to be talking about 6.1, comparing and ordering integers. All right, so here's a couple things that you're going to want to know. An integer is a positive or a negative whole number, okay? So, would this be an integer? No, why not?
It's a fraction.
That's a fraction. It's not a whole number. That's only a part of a number, okay? So, some examples I've given to you, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Is there anyone who can name another integer? -3. What else?
-300.
-300.
+30.
+30. One last one.
Oh, -55.
-55. Okay, anything that's a whole number, whether it's positive or negative, is an integer. There's one thing that I do want you to know about, though. 0 is neither positive nor negative. So you would never say, I have positive $0 or I have negative $0. You simply just have $0. Okay, so read that red part to me one last time. 0 is neither positive nor negative. This is asking us to write the opposite of the integer. Basically, the opposite of a positive is a negative. So the opposite of a negative would be a positive. So what's the opposite of 15? Negative 15. Let's look at the next one. Landon, what's the opposite of -8? Positive 8, okay? Now, you could put a positive there if you want, but if we don't have anything there, we know automatically it is positive, okay? Guys, what's the opposite of -35? Positive 35. And the last one, what is the opposite of 100? Negative 100. Copy and complete the statement using less than or greater than. When we're talking about integers, one thing that's actually really simple is if you think of your integer or your number as dollars, okay? If I told you you have $-, who can give me an example of when you might have $-?
If you owe like a debt to somebody.
If you owe a debt to somebody, okay? How many of you have ever owed somebody money? If you owe them money, that's negative money for you because it's not your money anymore. You have to give it away. Okay, so which would you rather have, $0 or -$7?
0.
I would rather have $0 too, okay? So read to me what should go in the blank. Read from left to right. 0 is greater than -7 because I would rather not owe anybody any money than have to give away $7. Let's look at the next one. -9 and 4. Think about it like money. Would you rather have -$9 or 4?
4.
I'd rather have $4 too. Read it to me from left to right. -9 is
Less than 4.
Less than 4. Do the next one on your own. Okay, tell me what you got.
-5 is greater than -4.
-5 is less than.
All right, I heard some that was greater than and some that was less than. What would you rather have, -$5 or -$4? I'd rather have -4 because I would only owe somebody $4 instead of $5. So try again, read it from left to right. What would it say? -5 is less than -4. Last one, what would you rather have, -$3 or -$13?
3.
If I had to give away money, I'd rather only have to give away 3 instead of 13. So read it to me from left to right. -3 is greater than -13. How many of you got both of those right? Next up, we are ordering the integers from least to greatest. Now remember, an integer is just any whole number that's positive or negative. What's always going to be smaller, the positive numbers or the negative numbers?
Negative.
Negative numbers will always be the smallest ones. So looking out of this whole number set that I have right here, what is the smallest number there? -36. Okay, when I'm thinking about money, the one that I would not want to have is -36. That means I owe $36. Isabel, what's next? -6. Next, Emma. -2. Michael, what's next?
0.
0. Next up, Gabby.
4.
And the final one, guys? 15. All right, that is in order from least to greatest. Now here's something that you can clearly look at for this example. 0 is right here, and then you can see to the left, everything is negative. To the right, everything is positive. Notice one thing. Whenever you've got these negative numbers, although -2 looks small, -36 is actually much smaller. Okay, so the bigger the negative number, the tinier the number is. I want you to try this next one on your own. All right, let's check it together. What's the tiniest one? -215. What's next? Next?
-4.
Next up?
13.
13. There's no -13. And last one? 215. Once again, you can notice over here, these are all negative numbers. Over here, those are all positive numbers, okay? So that is how you put something in order from least to greatest. The instructions here say tell whether the statement is true or false and then explain your reasoning. Read me what the first problem says.
-3 is smaller than 2.
-3 is less than 2. Raise your hand if you think that's true. Raise your hand if you think it's false. All right, that is a true statement. Now, here's how I want you kind of explaining this. Let's talk about a number line. On a number line, which one is to the left, the -3 or the 2? Guys, which one's to the left on the number line? -3, okay? So here's why this is a true statement. -3 is to the left of the number 2 on a number line. Let's read the next one together. What does this say? -8 is greater than -7. Think about it like money. Remember, when you have negative numbers, sometimes it's easy to think of it with money. What would you rather have, -8 or -7?
-7.
I'd rather have -7 because I owe somebody 7 instead of 8. So is this statement true or false? It is false. Okay, so if I draw myself a number line here, remember negatives are always going to be to the left. So this is -8, -7, -6, -5. It could keep going on. You eventually would get to 0 over here, and then positives and positive numbers when you go to the right. Okay, so this is false. Why? Because -8 is to the left of -7 on the number line. So one thing you want to remember is any numbers that over here are to the left side, those numbers are always getting smaller. And then anything as you go to the right, those numbers are always getting bigger. All right, so this is a review problem. You had problems very similar to this on your test yesterday. Some people made some silly mistakes. So let's just kind of review over this concept. Do I need a common denominator when having adding and subtracting? Yes. Can they both go into an 8? No, they cannot. What's the next multiple of an 8? 16. Can they both go into 16? No, a 6 cannot go into it evenly. What's the next multiple? Can they both go into 24? Okay, so that's how you figure out 24 is going to be my common denominator. Now we just need to figure out how to get to that. 6 times what number equals 24? 4. So if I multiply the bottom by 4, I got to multiply the top. What do you get? 4 24ths. Let's go down to the bottom. Down here, 8 times what number equals 24?
3.
Times 3 on top and bottom, and what do you get?
6.
6 24ths. What do I do first, fractions or whole numbers? You always do the fractions first, so I'm dealing with just that right there. 4 24ths minus 6 24ths. What would that be? You can't do it, so who do you borrow from?
10.
Go over to the tens. That 10 becomes a 9. Now, when I borrow from the 10, how many 24ths will I get?
24.
Remember, 24 24ths equals 1 whole. And I borrowed 1 whole from this 10 right here, okay? So basically what you're doing here is a simple idea. You're just adding these two numbers together. What's 24 plus 4?
28.
28, okay? So now instead of 4 24ths, I have 28 24ths. Sometimes people like to write out that you're adding 24 24ths. You could do it either way. However is easiest for you is fine with me. Okay, so now we're ready to go. What is 28 24ths minus 6 24ths? 22 over 24. Yesterday on your test, some people just go ahead and went like that, but they totally forgot about this right here, your whole numbers. What is 9 minus 3? 6. Am I finished now?
No, you have to simplify it.
You have to simplify that. So what would my answer be?
6 and 11 twelfths.
6 and 11 twelfths is correct. I want you to do this last problem for me, please, on your own. All right, I had 3 people who definitely got that correct, but there were some little mistakes that some people were messing up on. First thing you have to do is turn these into an improper fraction. So we've got 21 fourths divided by 22 tenths. What method do you have to use with dividing fractions? Not cross division. KFC. What does KFC mean? Keep the first one, flip the second one, and change the sign. Now you're ready to go. Okay, a lot of people on the test yesterday at least got this far, and then they made some silly mistakes. So let's look. Is there anything I can cross reduce? Yes. 4 and 10. What do they become?
2 and 5.
2 and 5. All right, so as I multiply this out, once again, yesterday a lot of people got this far. 21 times 5 is 105, and then we know 2 times 22 is 44, okay? Now, this is where people made silly mistakes. This is just a division problem. 105 divided by 44. We know it can go in 2 times. And then the answer is 2 and 17 44ths.
That's what I got.
I did the same thing too.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, very good job. I want to talk to you guys about tonight's homework. All right, for tonight's homework, it is going to be a flipped classroom, which means you're going to go to the YouTube channel, you're going to look for 6.2, and I'm going to give you a paper right now that you're going to write your notes down on, okay? Some things, just like in class, you're going to need a red pen, so make sure you take a red pen and a pencil home with you.